everybody, my name is Jonathan Finn and welcome to today's TED Talk. I'm going to be basically talking to you about sort of how my career has been going and how you can use and what you can use, how you can use resources to make your career towards a professional athlete like me, because I race motorcycles here in Spain. And that's just one of the many options of being a professional athlete. There's multiple other options, but they all sort of follow the main sort of, I guess you could say, baseline of how you have to get to being a top athlete in the professional athlete category. And one of the main things is, if you look at all the great basketball players or all the great motorcycle racers or even the greatest hockey players, they all start at a really young age. So for example, Wayne Gretzky was a really good hockey player, and at a young age he had a mini hockey rink that they made out of snowbanks and just flooded it, and so he could practice during the winter. Like, they even set up floodlights so he could practice as much as he could away from practice with his team, with his minor hockey team. And same thing, and so he started at a very young age, and if you look at him now, yeah, he's retired, but he set a lot of records, and he was one of the best hockey players ever. And another example, for motorcycle racing, the top guy now, Marc Marquez, he started at like 3 years old. He got his first motorcycle for Christmas when he was 3 years old, and he's got multiple world championships, multiple race wins, everything. The numbers don't lie. But not only do you have to start, it's not a set fact that you have to start at a young age per se, but it's kind of more commonly known, the younger you start, the better off you could be. Really, you have to sort of look at the facts to decide how the best way of going is, because all the greats they all started when they were like really young, 5, 6 years old. Like, even if you could say, I got off to a late start from my motorcycle racing career. I started when I was 6 years old. All the guys here in Spain, they're starting at 3 years old, so they already have 3 years on me, right? So, for example, if you have a kid that starts playing hockey and, has to develop the skills starting at, say, 8 years old, over somebody starting at 17 years old, the younger kid will have those skill sets, and he can learn more skill sets over the 17-year-old who needs to learn the basic skill sets before learning the more advanced skill sets that the 8-year-old has already learned within his, many years of playing hockey. Because by the time he gets to be 17, in those 9 years, he's going to be way better off than a 17-year-old starting at 17, right? So the really thing that you have to know is, not only do you have to start young, but it also requires talent. So I'm a professional motorcycle racer, semi-professional motorcycle racer, but and I'm really good at it. I'm in a club, and I can do all sorts of cool things on the motorcycle. I can slide it around and do stoppies, and I have really good bike control. Not only do you require the talent, but you also have to build your skills, but also it requires a lot of hard work. And you have to put so many hours in the gym, in stretching, in your flexibility, and everything like that, because of the body positions that you're in. And also, you have to make a lot of sacrifices too, because as being a professional athlete, you can't really drink alcohol because that'll affect your system. You have to have a good diet, so you can't eat out, you can't eat at fast food restaurants. I mean, yeah, you can have a cheat day here and there, but it can't be very often, because I found, even with myself, once I get onto a diet, if I start eating I guess you could say, lesser quality food. So like maybe something from a fast food restaurant or like a pre-made meal from the grocery store, I feel, I don't really feel so good. And so you really have to be dedicated to what you want to do. And you have to put in all your effort towards what you want to do. Another big thing nowadays is social media. You need a good following. So you can be the best player in the world, but if you have 0 followers, nobody will know who you are, right? Because if you look at all the top athletes, they have a couple million people following them, and they get recognition, right? That way. So you have to be able to make, Facebook posts or Instagram posts, or even have a YouTube channel, and just sort of show everybody so that you can get people following you to help you in a way, because the more people that follow you, the more opportunity you have at getting recognized. And if you look, it's kind of like a ladder in all the aspects. So the social media, you start at ground zero, right? Just like starting a new sport, you're at ground zero and you don't really have a big idea. But then once you start climbing the ladder, you get more followers, more people have interest in you, and next thing you know, you're on with a good team and you're doing really well in the World Championship. Thank you everybody for listening to me talk about professional athletes and how you could potentially follow that career path towards being a professional athlete. But just keep in mind that the later you start, the less, the longer it takes you to be at the same level as a person that started 5 years younger than you. So thank you everybody for your time, and keep doing your research for following the professional athlete career path, and I'll see you next time.